Hi friends, and today we are going to discuss practical question number 2, AS13 investments from ICI study material. And already practical question number 1, except 3 illustrations, remaining all illustrations and complete theory part related to AS13 investments already uploaded. You can watch through playlist. So we can discuss the remaining 2 and 3 practical questions. After that, the remaining whatever the illustrations we left, last 3 illustrations, we can discuss them. Okay, here in the question number 2, it is a fixed income bearing securities. So whenever there is a fixed income bearing securities, definitely in case of purchase and sale, definitely the words should be mentioned come interest or ex interest, because investments fixed income bearing securities to be handled always on accrual basis. So definitely on the date of purchase, on the date of sale, there may be certain interest which is accrued but not due. Due date is not fallen, which is accrued. In case of purchase, you have to pay that interest which is interest accrued but not due. In case of sale, of course, you have to receive. So that in case of purchase as well as sale, definitely we need that whether it is come interest or ex interest. Come interest means in the mentioned price it is already included, so that when you multiply the with respected price, the amount out of that amount you can interest to be deducted, remaining is only towards cost of investment. This is for interest. Ex interest means whatever the price mentioned in that price, interest is not included, only that is the cost of investment. Interest to be separately to be calculated. In case of purchase you have to pay, in case of sale you have to receive. If nothing is mentioned, either come or ex interest, you may assume that it is always like ex interest. Okay, right? Very simple. Investments concerned, as I said, calculation part is very important. Entries are very simple. What you can do, you can buy the investments to bank. When investments are sold, bank to investments. While sale, if there is loss, P&L to investments, gain investments to P&L. That's all. Automatically when the due date is fallen, whether it is mentioned in the sum or not, and obviously you have to receive the interest, usually will be mentioned in the sum on the due date's interest received. If not mentioned, even then, because it is fixed income bearing security, whenever due date is fallen, check whatever the investments you are having, on those investments you can receive the interest income. Okay, and particularly while calculating the profit loss, so usually we have to work out what is the average cost of investment sold. With that you have to compare the sale proceeds. The difference is like a profit loss. But here it is mentioned that you are following first in first out method. Based on first in first out method, you need to work out profit loss. Either second problem, of course third problem also first in first out, not based on average cost. Let us work out that. And moreover they are following, yes. So actually the following information is presented by Mr. Z, a stock broker, related to his holding 9% central government bonds. So in the books of Z, 9% central government bonds investments account have a debit and credit, common date particulars, nominal value and amount or cost column, both the sides. It is fixed income bearing security, interest column, variable income security like equity shares, dividend, that's all. Remaining all they are same. And they are actually following calendar year. Initially they are having 9% central government bonds on opening value to 1,20,000 nominal value, cost incurred for them 1,18,000. Nominal value of each unit rate is 100 rupees. 1,20,000 divided by 100 means 1200 units you are having bonds. 1200 into 100, 1,20,000 nominal value, cost incurred 1,18,000. So purchase and sale transactions are given during the period. Purchase 2 times given, sales 2 times given. No problem. In case purchase very simple, but only in case of sale profit loss to be recognized. Company where you invested, that company is going to pay on every September and March. They are following financial year. But Z closes books on December. We are following calendar year, January to December. But where you invested, they are following financial year. Therefore they are going to pay on September and March 31st. So we are going to follow the calendar year, January to December 31st. So show the investment account how it would appear in the books of Z as for first in first out method, right? First I would like to take the January 1st, 1/1/2011. 1/1/2011, whenever investments are purchased, not investments are purchased, there is a opening balance. Right here, two balance brought down. brought down. Nominal value 1,20,000. Cost incurred is 1,18,000. And obviously here we need to take the interest also. Why? Because last year we wrote the entry accrued income to income. Actually they are following financial year, so that they already paid on September, October, November, December, 3 months accrued income which is not due. But that is the last year income already transferred to P&L. So last year we wrote that accrued income to income in the income by accrued income. Okay, credit side. So that was already transferred to P&L account. That can be taken like a opening balance here. Of course, at the end of the 6 months we can receive the income. 3 months debited, 6 months credited. Net of 3 months will go to the income as P&L account for this year. Last year already 3 months transferred to P&L as income, accrued income to income, credit side. That you can bring the balance here. Okay, so like accrued income. Credit side you may receive after 6 months, you may receive the interest income for 6 months. 3 months, 6 months. Net of 3 months will go for this year. So therefore you may write here 1,20,000 into 9% into 3 months, 3 by 12. Okay, so that is 1,20,000 into 9% into 3 by 12, 2,700. 2,700. Okay, right. Look at the next transaction. 1/3/2011 purchase of 200 units ex interest at 98 rupees. 1/3/2011. When you purchase investments in bonds account data to bank account. So 200 units into 100, nominal value 20,000. 20,000 nominal value. So come to the working notes. First working notes. 1/3/2011 purchase of bonds. How many bonds we purchased? 200 bonds we purchased into rate 98. 200 into 98, multiply that. 200 into 98, 19,600. 19,600. Whether come interest or ex interest, it is mentioned ex interest. Means this is only paid towards cost of investment. And obviously how to pay interest also, which is not included there. Interest always to be calculated on the nominal value, 20,000 into 9% into March 1st, in the sense already they earlier paid September, October, November, December, January, February, and it is March. For 5 months accrued but not due. 5 by 12. Therefore 20,000 into 9% into 5 by 12. Look at that, 750. Write in the interest column 750. That's all, simple. And go to the next transaction. Before going to the next transaction, 1/7/2011, 31st March interest due date fallen. On that date you have to take the interest, 31st March 2011. When you receive the interest, bank to interest in the interest by bank. Whatever the investments you are having right now, 1,40,000 into 9% into 6 months, 6 by 12. Right there, 1,40,000 into 9% into 6 by 12. 6,300 is your income. Interest column. Write the interest received. So that actually on 1/7/2011, 100 debentures, 1/7/2011, 500 units sold ex interest, each 100 rupees. 1/7/2011. Right there, 1/7/2011. Bank to investments, in the investments by bank, within bracket sale. See that how many units are sold here. 500 units are sold. 500 units are sold ex interest at 100 rupees. 500 units are sold. Obviously nominal value 50,000. 500 into 100, but they are sold at 500 rupees ex interest. Come to the working notes 2. 1/7/2011 sale of investments. 500 investments are sold at 100 rupees. That is 50,000. 50,000. Okay, that is very clearly mentioned that it is ex interest, means interest is not included here. That is what we are receiving only towards cost of investments. Interest we have to receive separately. Interest always to be calculated on the face value. 50,000 into 9% into, look at that, how many months? 1/7 means earlier paid 31st March, April, May, June, this is July 1st, 3 months, 3/12. That is 50,000 into 9% into 3/12, 1,125. 1,125. Obviously, when sale has taken place, you have to calculate the profit or loss. Calculation of profit or loss on sale of investments. For that, we need cost of investment sold. Obviously, it is mentioned that first in first out means these investments only we sold. These are 12,000. 12,000 cost is 1,18,000. Now we sold 5,000 units, 500 units. Sorry, 1,200, not 12,000. 1,200 units. Okay, 1,200 units. Cost is 1,18,000. 500 units are sold. What is the cost for them? 500 into 1,200 into 1 lakh divided by 1,200 into 1,18,000. Look at that. 1,18,000 divided by 1,200 into 500. 49,166.6. 49,167. Cost of investment sold. Sold for 50,000. Therefore, profit on the sale of investments is 50,000 minus 49,167. 833. 833. What would be the entry? Investments account data to P&L account. Investments account data to P&L account. 1/7/2011 to P&L account within bracket profit. Profit 833 right in the cost column. 833 right in the cost column. So sales has taken place and the profit loss also recognized on the transaction, and of course the profit is 833. Okay, 833 is the profit on the sale, right? Come to the next transaction. We have to work out in a chronological order. 1/10/2011. Okay, next let us see that what happened on 1/10/2011. 1/10/2011, it is given that again there is a purchase of 150 units at the rate of 98 come interest, but actually on 30th September due date is fallen. Again on that date, whatever the investments we are having, on those investments we have to receive the income. So bank to interest account. In the interest by bank, 39/2011 by bank. Okay, right there 1,40,000 already 50 sold. 90,000 you are having. 90,000 into 9% into 6 months, 6/12. Okay, let us calculate that how much it is. 90,000 into 9% into 6 by 12, 4050, right in the interest column. 4050, right in the interest column. Okay, again let us go to the October 1st on 1/10/2011. There is a purchase investments account at to bank account. Look at that, 150 units are purchased. 150 each, 115,000 nominal value. Let us write here 1/10/2011 purchase of 9% bonds. How many bonds we purchased? 150 bonds purchased at 98. Multiply that 150 into 98. 14,700. 14,700. 14,700. 14,700. Look at whether interest, cum interest or ex interest. Cum interest means interest included, and you have to subtract interest. Calculate that 15,000 into 9% interest, 9% into October 1st means 0. Okay, because last day itself is paid, no interest is accrued but not due. So that 14,700 only you have to pay, accrued but not interest, but not due interest is not there. 14,700, right in the amount column 14,700. Let us work out again calculation of profit or loss on sale of investments. Again I would like to know cost of investments sold. Cost of investments sold, first in first out. Out of 1200 earlier sold 500, still 700 is there. Still 700 is there. Sorry, that is a purchase, na? Only sales you have to, in case of sales, profit loss to be recognized. This is a purchase. Okay, next last transaction is sales, and there you may work out profit loss. October 1st purchase has taken place. Next one, 1/11/2011 sales has taken place. Bank to investments, in the investments by bank. 1/11/2011 bank to investments, in the investments by bank, within bracket sales. So 300 units are sold, nominal value 30,000, and go to the working notes. 1/11/2011 sale of investments, 300 investments are sold into 99 rupees. 300 into 99, multiply that, 29,700. 29,700. You may check it whether cum interest or ex interest. It is mentioned here, it is a ex interest, means it is only for cost. Interest to be received separately. Interest is equal to 30,000 into 9% into earlier paid on September 30, October, November 1st, only 1 month, 1/12. Therefore you can say 30,000 into 9% into 1/12. 225 rupees is the interest. Write in the 225 in the interest column. Here you may write that 29,700. Yes, immediately you need to calculate profit or loss. Calculation of profit or loss on sale of investments. For that we need to know cost of investments sold. Cost of investments sold. Okay, so you may check it. Earlier 1200 first in first out method, out of 1200 already we sold 500, still 700 are there. Out of 700, 300 sold. Okay, obviously from these investments only we sold. Therefore 1,20,000 nominal value, cost incurred for them is 1,18,000. 1,80,000. Now sold 30,000. Cost incurred. Otherwise 1,200 investment, that much 300 investments, how much? You can work out in that way also, no problem. 30,000 by 1,20,000 into 1,18,000. Therefore 30,000 into 1,18,000 by 1,20,000, 29,500. Cost of investment sold is 29,500. Sold for 29,700. Therefore profit 200. Profit 200. Whenever profit investments account data to P&L, in the investments to P&L, within bracket profit 200 rupees, right in the cost column. Okay, sale entry recorded, the profit or loss also, profit or loss on sale is also recorded. Okay, and obviously at the end of the year you have to value the investments, and which is on 31st December 2011. Buy balance carried on totally 1,40,000, 1,55,000. 1,55,000. So minus 80, that is 75,000 balance. Even you have to calculate accrued interest for them, and that interest also to be transferred to P&L. September paid, October, November, December, 3 months. For 3 months, 75,000 into 9% into 3 by 12. 75,000 into 9% into 3 by 12. 1687.5, 1688 otherwise. Okay, net of interest will go to the P&L account, right there. 31st December 2011 to P&L account, check it. Credit total 6,300 plus 1125 plus 4050 plus 225 plus 1688, 13,388. Minus 2,700 minus 750. Therefore 9938 will go to P&L. And obviously investments to be balanced usually at cost or market price, whichever is lower. Regarding market price, it is not mentioned, which means you have to take at cost price. Even in the valuation of investments, you calculate separately what is a cost of the remaining. Even balancing figure also it will be same. So whenever market price separately not given, you need not to work out in working notes. Separately balancing figure itself you can take like a investments at the end of the period. So let us go to the 1,18,000. So you need not to recognize any loss when market price is not given. Just you have to take at cost price. So they are obviously at cost price. You can take them. Therefore 1,18,000 plus 19,600 plus 8033 plus 14,700 plus 200. 1,53,333. 1,53,333 minus 50,000 minus 29,700. 73,633. That's all. So this is the way to handle fixed income bearing securities. 2 times purchase given, 2 times sales given. So there is one more practical question number 3, and even that also same kind of some FIFO method we can discuss in the next class. Okay, bye.